Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space lies our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. Viktor Frankl. Every day we face countless decisions. Some are huge, while others are small but meaningful. Should I confront a friend? Should I pursue a new job? What path should I take next? The answers to these questions determine the course of our lives. But here's the thing. How often do we really stop and think before we act? In today's fast-paced world, we are constantly pressured to act quickly, to seize the moment. But the truth is, the real power lies in the space between the event and our reaction. That space allows for reflection, intention, and wisdom. Today, we're going to dive into 20 powerful techniques drawn from Stoic philosophy, methods you can use to make wiser decisions. These techniques will help you slow down, reflect, and choose actions that align with your values and aspirations. Whether you're navigating small everyday choices or big life-altering ones, these tools will help you master that critical space. Let's get started. Ever notice how some of your worst decisions are made in a rush? Pausing, even for a few moments, can be a game changer. The power of pause is more than just taking a breath. It's about giving yourself the space to think clearly and make decisions based on wisdom, not impulse. Here's something simple yet incredibly effective: the 5-second rule. When you feel the impulse to react, whether it's sending a heated text, making a spontaneous purchase, or firing back a response, count down from 5. Why? Because in those 5 seconds, your brain shifts from emotional overdrive to a more rational state. It's like taking your mind off autopilot and giving yourself control of the wheel again. This pause helps you catch emotional reactions before they dictate your choices. Imagine you're about to send a message in frustration. That countdown creates just enough space for you to realize, wait a second, this might not be the best idea. Marcus Aurelius summed it up perfectly. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. The 5-second rule helps you reclaim that strength, ensuring your decisions are deliberate, not impulsive. Think about the last time you reacted on impulse. What could have changed if you had given yourself just 5 seconds? Next time, try counting down and see how it changes the outcome. But what if 5 seconds isn't enough? What if the decision at hand requires more time and more consideration? That's where our next technique comes in. When 5 seconds won't cut it, you need a bigger tool, the 24-hour rule. For big decisions, this technique gives you the time and space to let emotions settle. Whether it's a large purchase, a career change, or resolving a conflict, waiting 24 hours can offer invaluable perspective. The key is simple. Put off the decision for a full day. After 24 hours, you'll often find that what seemed urgent no longer feels as pressing. Emotions fade, and clarity emerges. For example, say you're about to make a big financial decision, like purchasing a car. The excitement of the moment might push you to buy, but after 24 hours, you may realize that the decision requires a bit more thought. This method also works beautifully for personal conflicts. Instead of replying immediately to an angry message, give yourself a day. By then, cooler heads prevail. As Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. The 24-hour rule helps you react wisely, not impulsively. Ever felt relieved that you didn't act on something in the heat of the moment? This technique allows you to apply that wisdom proactively. Try using the 24-hour rule in your next big decision and notice how time brings clarity. Taking a day to pause is great for big decisions, but sometimes you don't need time. What you really need is a new perspective, ready to see things differently. Perspective is everything. Sometimes the reason you can't make a decision is that you're too close to the problem. When we change our perspective, we change what we see, and often, new solutions emerge. One powerful Stoic technique for gaining perspective is called the view from above. Picture this. You're zooming out on your life like watching it unfold from space. The things that feel overwhelming up close begin to shrink when viewed from a distance. Imagine you're stressed about a presentation or an argument with a friend. Up close, these problems seem all-consuming. But when you zoom out and look at the situation from 1,000 feet above, suddenly it feels smaller. The bigger picture becomes clearer, and what seemed monumental is now just a tiny part of your life story. Seneca famously said, "Time heals what reason cannot." The view from above gives you clarity, helping you focus on what truly matters while letting go of what doesn't. Next time you feel overwhelmed, try this mental exercise. Imagine your life as a whole from a high vantage point. What changes when you view your problem from this perspective? Are you seeing the forest instead of just the trees? What if you could go further than just viewing from above? What if you could step into someone else's shoes and see the problem through their eyes? Let's dive into the next powerful technique. Sometimes, the solution isn't about stepping back. It's about stepping into someone else's shoes. That's what role reversal is all about. When you're stuck, imagining how someone else would approach the situation can reveal solutions you didn't think of. Let's say you're facing a tough decision at work. You're torn between two choices, and each option feels equally valid. Now ask yourself, what advice would I give to a friend in this situation? Or think of someone you admire. How would they handle it? This technique allows you to detach emotionally and consider the problem from a different perspective. As Aristotle wisely said, knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. Sometimes, seeing the situation through another's eyes is what helps you understand your own mind more clearly. The next time you're stuck, try asking yourself what advice you would give to someone else in the same situation. Does the answer surprise you? Sometimes, clarity comes not from within, but by stepping into another's shoes. Shifting perspectives is a great way to gain clarity, but how do we handle the strong emotions that come with decision-making? Let's explore how to manage your emotions so they don't manage you. Emotions are powerful. They can either guide us toward wise decisions or push us into choices we later regret. Learning to manage your emotions is crucial for making thoughtful decisions. The first step in emotional management is simply to name the emotion. When you're upset, anxious, or frustrated, pause and ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? Naming the emotion helps take its power away. Let's say you've had a rough day and you're feeling irritable. Instead of letting that irritation drive your behavior, snapping at someone or making a hasty decision, pause and name it. I'm feeling irritable. Just acknowledging it creates a mental distance, allowing you to choose how to act rather than letting the emotion control you. Epictetus, another great Stoic thinker, said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Naming your emotions is the first step to managing how you react to them. The next time you're feeling overwhelmed, take a moment to ask yourself, what am I really feeling right now? Just putting a name to the emotion helps you create space to respond calmly instead of reacting impulsively. Naming your emotions is the first step. But what if you could take it a step further? What if, before reacting, you could hit the pause button and gain control over your response? Here's how. Another key technique in emotional management is the Stoic's pause. This is all about taking a deep breath before reacting to any situation. It's simple but incredibly effective. For instance, next time someone says something that frustrates you, before reacting, take one deep breath. That moment of stillness is all it takes for your rational mind to catch up with your emotions. You'll find that in just a few seconds, the need to react immediately fades, and you're able to respond thoughtfully instead. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The Stoic's pause gives you that strength, allowing you to choose reason over emotion. The next time someone pushes your buttons, try this. Take one deep breath before responding. Notice how that small pause allows you to approach the situation with a clearer mind. It's not about suppressing your feelings, but about giving yourself the chance to react in a way you'll be proud of. So far, we've explored how to manage emotions and shift perspectives. But wise decision-making requires more than just feelings. It also demands clear, rational thinking. Let's dive into some tools for evaluating your options with precision. Emotion is only one part of the equation. The other is logic. To make truly wise decisions, we need to balance our emotions with rational analysis. This section introduces practical tools that help you think clearly, weigh options, and choose wisely. It may sound simple, but the pros and cons list is one of the most effective ways to evaluate a decision. By writing down the benefits and drawbacks of each option, you make abstract thoughts concrete, allowing you to weigh your choices more clearly. Let's say you're deciding whether to take a new job. You're excited, but you're also nervous about leaving your current role. Listing the pros and cons allows you to see both the potential rewards and risks in a tangible way. This isn't just about making the decision easier, it's about getting clarity. Aristotle said, "The more you know, the more you realize you don't know." Writing things down helps you bridge that gap, making your thought process clearer. Before you make your next big decision, try putting it down on paper. List the pros and cons of each option. Seeing everything in black and white often brings clarity that wasn't there before. But what if you're still unsure after listing out the pros and cons? Sometimes you need to think about the worst-case scenario. What could go wrong, and how would you handle it? Let's explore. One of the best ways to reduce fear around a decision is by considering the worst-case scenario. This technique involves asking yourself, what's the worst thing that could happen if I make this choice? By confronting your worst fears, you often realize they're not as bad as they seem. Imagine you're thinking about starting a new business. The idea excites you, but fear holds you back. Now ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen? Maybe the business fails and you lose some money. But then ask, how would I handle that? Maybe you'd take on a part-time job to recover financially or learn valuable lessons for your next venture. As Seneca said, the greatest obstacle to living is expectancy, which hangs upon tomorrow and loses today. By facing the worst-case scenario, you remove the fear of the unknown, allowing you to act confidently in the present. Next time you're afraid of making a decision, stop and ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen and how would I handle it? Often the answer will reassure you that the risks are manageable and the decision less daunting. The worst-case scenario technique helps you conquer fear. But wise decision-making isn't just about avoiding risk. It's about ensuring your choices align with your deepest values. Let's explore how to make decisions that reflect who you truly are. At the heart of wise decision-making is integrity. It's not just about what you choose, but why you choose it. Decisions grounded in your core values and principles bring long-term fulfillment and peace of mind. The integrity check is simple. Ask yourself, does this decision align with my values and principles? If a choice conflicts with who you are or what you believe, it's likely not the right decision. For instance, imagine you're considering taking a job that pays well, but requires you to engage in practices you're uncomfortable with. Before accepting, ask yourself, does this fit with my values? Will I feel proud of this decision in the long run? If the answer is no, the financial benefits won't be worth the internal conflict. As Mahatma Gandhi said, the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. When you ensure that your decisions align with your values, you not only stay true to yourself but also contribute to a more meaningful life. Before making your next decision, check in with yourself. Ask, does this align with who I am and what I stand for? When your decisions reflect your core values, you make choices that you can live with and feel proud of. Integrity matters, but so does self-respect. How do you ensure your decisions not only align with your values, but also leave you feeling proud of your actions? Let's find out. Here's a simple yet powerful question to ask yourself before making any decision. Would I respect myself if this decision became public knowledge? The would I respect myself test is a great way to ensure your choices align with your ethics and self-respect. Imagine you're considering a decision that could benefit you personally, but feels ethically questionable. Before moving forward, ask yourself, if others knew about this, would I still feel proud of my choice? If the answer is no, it's a sign to reconsider. As Confucius wisely said, the superior man is modest in his speech, but exceeds in his actions. When you make decisions that reflect your true values, you not only gain self-respect, but also set an example for others. Next time you're faced with a tough choice, ask, would I respect myself if this decision were public? This question helps you ensure your actions align with your principles, even when no one is watching. Making decisions that reflect your values is essential, but sometimes the wisest thing we can do is seek advice from others. Ready to tap into the wisdom of those around you? Let's explore the power of counsel. Wise decisions aren't always made alone. Sometimes, tapping into the wisdom of others can provide the clarity and insight you need. But how do you seek advice without feeling overwhelmed by too many opinions? One of the best ways to gain clarity on a decision is to seek advice from someone you respect. A mentor. Mentors offer the benefit of experience. They've likely faced similar decisions and can provide insight that you may not have considered. Imagine you're contemplating a career change. Talking to a mentor who has navigated similar transitions can give you valuable perspective. They might highlight potential challenges or opportunities you hadn't thought of, helping you make a more informed decision. As Socrates said, the only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing. Consulting a mentor allows you to tap into their knowledge and experience, helping you avoid common pitfalls and make more thoughtful choices. If you're facing a major decision, consider talking to someone who has been through a similar experience. Their advice could provide the clarity you need to move forward confidently. But what if you don't have just one mentor? Sometimes the wisdom of a group can offer even more insight. Let's explore the next technique. The two heads are better than one approach, which involves gathering input from multiple trusted sources. Instead of relying on just one person's opinion, you seek advice from a few people who bring different perspectives to the table. For example, if you're making a significant life decision, you might talk to a close friend, a family member, and a professional mentor. Each person's viewpoint adds a new dimension, helping you consider angles you hadn't thought of before. As Lao Tzu said, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Seeking advice from multiple sources ensures that your journey is guided by collective wisdom rather than just your own perspective. Before making a big decision, talk to a few trusted people who have your best interests at heart. Each person's perspective can reveal new insights and help you make a more balanced, informed choice. Seeking advice is valuable, but looking back on your own past decisions can be just as insightful. Ready to learn from your experiences? Let's dive into reflection and self-growth. Wise decision-making is often about learning from past experiences. Reflecting on the outcomes of previous decisions can provide valuable insights into what worked, what didn't, and why. After making a decision, use the post-mortem analysis to review the outcome and process. Ask yourself, what went well? What didn't? What can I learn from this? This reflection helps you understand your decision-making patterns and improve over time. For instance, imagine a project that didn't go as planned. Maybe you underestimated the time needed or missed important details. By conducting a post-mortem analysis, you can identify the factors that led to the less than ideal outcome and learn how to avoid similar pitfalls in the future. As John Dewey said, we do not learn from experience. We learn from reflecting on experience. This reflection turns experience into wisdom, guiding you toward better decisions in the future. After your next major decision, take a moment to reflect on the outcome. What went right and what could have been better? Use this insight to improve how you approach future decisions. Learning from past decisions is essential, but what if you could anticipate potential issues before they happen? There's a technique that can help you do just that. Let's explore the premortem approach. While the post-mortem analysis focuses on reflection after a decision, the premortem technique is all about foresight. It involves imagining that your decision has already failed and then working backward to figure out why. For example, let's say you're planning to launch a new product or start a new business. Before you dive in, use the premortem technique to imagine that a year from now, the project has failed. Ask yourself, why did it fail? Was it due to poor planning, lack of resources, or unexpected competition? By identifying potential problems before they arise, you can take steps to mitigate those risks. As Nassim Nicholas Taleb said, the opposite of success is not failure, but being stuck in the same place. The Premortem technique helps you move forward by preparing for challenges before they become real obstacles. Before your next big project or decision, try a Premortem analysis. Imagine the decision has already failed and ask yourself why. What steps can you take now to prevent those issues from happening? Looking ahead is important, but sometimes we need help seeing things we might be missing. How do we ensure our decisions aren't influenced by blind spots? Let's explore the next method. Cognitive biases can distort our decision-making by leading us to favor certain ideas while ignoring others. Learning to recognize and counter these biases can help you make more objective and sound choices. Confirmation bias happens when we only look for information that supports what we already believe, ignoring anything that contradicts it. This can lead to poor decisions because we're not considering the full picture. For example, let's say you're thinking about buying a new phone. You've already decided which model you want, so you only read reviews that praise it, ignoring any negative feedback. This bias might prevent you from seeing potential issues with the product. To counteract confirmation bias, actively seek out opposing viewpoints. Challenge your assumptions and look for evidence that contradicts your initial beliefs. By doing so, you can make more balanced, well-informed decisions. As Albert Einstein wisely said, the measure of intelligence is the ability to change. When you recognize and challenge your biases, you open yourself up to better, more informed choices. The next time you're making a decision, try to identify whether confirmation bias is at play. Are you only looking at information that supports your opinion? Seek out opposing views to ensure you're making a balanced decision. Sometimes biases are hard to see on our own. What if there's something we're missing that could impact our decision? The next technique will help you uncover those hidden blind spots. We all have blind spots, areas where our perception is limited or distorted. To counter this, it's important to actively seek feedback from others who might see things you don't. For example, imagine you're planning a major event and you're feeling confident that everything is in place. However, you might be overlooking potential logistical issues or risks that others can see more clearly. By asking for feedback from a diverse group of people, colleagues, friends, or experts, you can reveal hidden problems or opportunities you hadn't considered. As Socrates wisely said, "The unexamined life is not worth living." Seeking feedback ensures that your decisions are well examined, leading to better outcomes and personal growth. The next time you're making an important decision, ask someone you trust for their input. Their perspective might reveal blind spots or opportunities you hadn't seen, helping you make a more informed choice. Recognizing biases helps ensure that your decisions are based on a clear, objective view. But what happens when we're faced with uncertainty? Let's explore how to embrace the unknown. Uncertainty is an inevitable part of life. Instead of fearing it, we can embrace it and learn to make more confident decisions in the face of the unknown. This section explores methods for managing and utilizing uncertainty. The what-if game is a technique that involves asking what-if questions to explore different scenarios and their possible outcomes. By considering various possibilities, you prepare yourself for uncertainty and make more informed decisions. For example, suppose you're deciding whether to move to a new city for a job opportunity. You might ask yourself, what if the job doesn't work out? What if I hate the city? By anticipating both positive and negative outcomes, you can better prepare for the potential challenges and opportunities ahead. As Charles Darwin observed, it is not the strongest of the species that survive, nor the most intelligent, but the one most responsive to change. Embracing uncertainty through the what-if game makes you more adaptable and resilient in your decision-making. When faced with a difficult decision, ask yourself, what if this works out? What if it doesn't? By considering both outcomes, you can better prepare for whatever comes your way. Anticipating different outcomes is helpful, but how do you balance optimism with realism? Let's explore a method that gives you a clear view of all possibilities. The best, worst, most likely analysis helps you evaluate a decision by considering the best possible outcome, the worst possible outcome, and the most likely outcome. This method provides a balanced view, helping you make a more informed decision. For instance, if you're deciding whether to invest in a new business venture, you might think about the best-case scenario: the business thrives; the worst-case scenario, it fails; and the most likely scenario, the business grows slowly but steadily. By considering all possibilities, you can make a more balanced and realistic decision. As Rainer Maria Rilke said, "The only journey is the one within." Understanding and accepting uncertainty is a journey that enhances your inner resilience and decision-making skills. Before making your next big decision, try evaluating the best, worst, and most likely outcomes. This balanced approach helps you navigate uncertainty with confidence. Now that you've considered different outcomes, how do you structure your decision-making to ensure clarity? There's one more tool that can help you visualize your options. The decision tree approach is a visual tool that helps you map out potential choices and their outcomes. By creating branches for each option, you can clearly see the possible consequences of each path. For example, if you're deciding whether to accept a new job, your decision tree might have branches for different scenarios: accepting the job, staying in your current role, or seeking other opportunities. Each branch shows the potential outcomes, allowing you to weigh your options more clearly. As Heraclitus wisely noted, change is the only constant in life. The decision tree approach helps you navigate the complexities of change by providing a clear, structured view of your choices. For your next big decision, try drawing a decision tree. Map out each option and its potential outcomes. This visual representation will help you see the big picture and make a more informed choice. We've explored how to manage uncertainty, evaluate risks, and structure decisions. Now let's bring everything together and master the art of wise decision-making. At the end of the day, making wise decisions isn't about finding the perfect choice. It's about using the tools and techniques we've explored to make thoughtful, intentional choices. From managing emotions to seeking counsel, each technique contributes to the process of becoming a wiser decision-maker. Finally, wise decision-making requires consistent reflection. After every decision, take time to evaluate the outcome and the process. Ask yourself, what worked? What didn't? What can I learn? By reflecting regularly, you improve your ability to make better decisions in the future. As Winston Churchill said, "To improve is to change. To be perfect is to change often." The journey to wise decision-making is a continuous process of growth, learning, and reflection. After your next decision, take a few moments to reflect. What did you learn from the process? How can you apply that insight to your next decision? The more consistently you reflect, the more your decision-making skills will sharpen over time. Mastering the art of decision-making is not a destination, but a continuous journey. Every choice you make, whether big or small, shapes the path you walk in life. By using these 20 techniques, you can pause, reflect, and align your decisions with your values, ensuring they serve not only your immediate needs, but also your long-term growth and fulfillment. Remember, it's not about being perfect or making the right decision every time. It's about approaching every decision with intention, clarity, and wisdom. Each time you apply these tools, you're getting closer to becoming the person you strive to be. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of wise decision-making. I hope you found these methods valuable and that they empower you to approach your choices with greater confidence, insight, and purpose. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with others who might benefit from these techniques. And I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. What techniques resonated most with you? How will you apply them in your life? Let's keep the conversation going.